The story of the Spanish Armada is one of ambition, conflict, and catastrophic failure. A grand naval campaign that has fascinated historians for centuries. In the late 16th century, tensions between Protestant England, under Queen Elizabeth I, and Catholic Spain, ruled by King Philip II, had reached a boiling point. Philip, driven by religious fervor and political strategy, conceived of a plan to invade England and depose the Protestant Queen. This ambitious undertaking was named the Grande y Felicissima Armada, or the Great and Most Fortunate Navy. The fleet consisted of around 130 ships, a formidable assembly of galleons, galleasses, and support vessels. It carried over 8,000 sailors and 18,000 soldiers, an army intended to conquer a nation. But beyond its military might, the Armada was also rumored to be a floating treasury. The legend speaks of immense riches packed into the holds of these warships. These were not just payroll chests for the troops, but a vast collection of gold, silver, and jewels. The source of this supposed treasure was the Spanish Empire's dominion over the New World. Decades of plundering the Aztec and Inca empires had funneled unimaginable wealth back to Spain. The myth suggests that a significant portion of this wealth was allocated to fund the invasion and to serve as a portable treasury for the new Catholic regime in England. The Armada set sail from Lisbon in May 1588, a breathtaking spectacle of naval power. However, the most fortunate navy was plagued by misfortune from the very beginning. Poor weather forced the fleet to take refuge in Corunna, where repairs were made and supplies replenished. The English, led by commanders like Sir Francis Drake, were prepared and waiting. The English ships were smaller, faster, and more maneuverable than the bulky Spanish galleons. A series of engagements took place in the English Channel, with both sides suffering damage. The decisive moment came with the English use of fire ships off the coast of Calais. These floating infernos caused panic and chaos, forcing the Spanish commanders to cut their anchors and break their defensive formation. The subsequent Battle of Gravelines was a tactical victory for the English. The battered Armada, unable to return through the Channel, was forced into a perilous journey home around the north of Scotland and the west of Ireland. This is where the legend of the lost treasure truly takes root. The ships were not designed for the ferocious Atlantic storms that awaited them. One by one, ships were battered by hurricane-force winds and colossal waves. Many were driven onto the rocky, unforgiving Irish coastline. It is in these sunken wrecks that the treasure is said to lie. Accounts from the time speak of Spanish survivors washing ashore, sometimes with pockets full of gold coins. Local Irish clans and English authorities were quick to learn of the potential riches. For centuries, the stories were passed down, evolving into grand tales of unimaginable wealth. These legends fueled the dreams of treasure hunters for generations. But is there any truth to these fantastic claims? Historians are divided on the scale of the treasure. Many argue that the primary cargo of the Armada was military, not monetary. Main goal was invasion, requiring soldiers, cannons, and supplies, not chests of gold. The funds for the army, including a significant payroll, would certainly have been on board. This alone would represent a considerable fortune. However, the idea of a vast, supplementary treasure for establishing a new government is more contentious. Spain's finances were severely strained by the cost of building the Armada itself. It seems unlikely they would risk a massive, non-essential treasure on such a dangerous mission. Yet, the allure of the legend persists, partly because some treasure has actually been found. The most famous discovery is the wreck of the galleass Girona. The Girona was not a typical warship. It was a large, oar-powered galleass, sank in 1588 off the coast of County Antrim in modern-day Northern Ireland. Crucially, the Girona had picked up hundreds of survivors from other wrecked Armada ships. These men included wealthy noblemen and officers who would have carried their personal fortunes with them. When the Girona went down, it took this consolidated wealth with it. In the 1960s, a team of divers led by Robert Stenowick located the wreck. The treasure they recovered was breathtaking. It included hundreds of gold and silver coins, exquisite jewelry, and personal items of immense value. This discovery proved that at least some of the Armada ships contained significant riches. However, the Girona was an exceptional case, a repository for the wealth of multiple ships. Other Armada wrecks have been found, such as the Trinidad Valenciera and the Santa Maria de la Rosa. These have yielded valuable historical artifacts, including cannons, anchors, and pottery. While historically priceless, they have not produced treasure on the scale of the Girona. This supports the theory that most ships carried military hardware, not treasure chests. The search for other wrecks continues to this day. Modern technology allows for more precise and systematic exploration of the seabed. Treasure hunters and marine archaeologists remain hopeful of finding another Girona. The Irish government has strict laws protecting underwater heritage, declaring all wrecks over 100 years old as state property. This is to prevent looting and ensure that discoveries are properly excavated and preserved. So, is the lost treasure of the Armada a reality? The answer is complex, a blend of yes and no. Yes, there was treasure, as proven by the Girona. The payroll for thousands of soldiers and sailors was a vast sum. The personal wealth of high-ranking officers also contributed to the riches on board. But no, the idea of a colossal, supplementary treasure intended to bankroll a new kingdom is likely an exaggeration. Legend grew in the telling, fueled by centuries of hope and speculation. Each new discovery, no matter how small, breathes new life into the myth. The sunken ships of 1588 are more than just potential treasure sites. They are time capsules, offering a direct link to a pivotal moment in European history. They are the final resting places for thousands of sailors and soldiers. The true treasure lies in the knowledge these wrecks provide about 16th century life, warfare, and shipbuilding. Yet, the romantic notion of sunken gold continues to capture the public imagination. It is a story of hubris, of an empire's reach exceeding its grasp. It is a testament to the power of nature against the ambitions of men. And it is a mystery, with answers still hidden beneath the waves. The Armada's failure secured England's independence and Protestant future, marked a turning point in the balance of power in Europe. The cost to Spain was immense, both in lives and in finances. Of the 130 ships that set sail, fewer than half made it back to Spain. Many of those that returned were too damaged to be salvaged. The loss of experienced sailors and officers was a devastating blow. The legend of the treasure can be seen as a way to find a silver lining in a national catastrophe. If the ships were lost, at least they were lost with something of immense value. This narrative transforms a military defeat into a romantic treasure hunt. The debate continues in books, documentaries, and archaeological forums. Each side presents compelling evidence for their case. The skeptics point to the official Spanish manifests, which list military supplies, not treasure. They argue that any gold on board was for logistical purposes only. The believers point to the Girona and the sheer wealth of the Spanish Empire at the time. They argue that official records could have been deliberately misleading or incomplete. Perhaps some captains or nobles brought unauthorized wealth, hoping to profit from the invasion. The truth is likely buried in the archives of Spain or at the bottom of the ocean. Until every wreck is found and excavated, the question will remain. The story of the lost treasure is now part of the Armada's identity. It has become inseparable from the historical facts of the campaign. The sunken riches, whether real or imagined, ensure the Armada's story will never be forgotten. The initial fleet was a symbol of Spanish power and prestige. Each galleon was a floating fortress, intricately carved and painted. Religious icons and banners were prominently displayed on the ships. The mission was framed as a holy crusade against Protestant heresy. This religious dimension adds another layer to the treasure legend. Perhaps sacred relics and church gold were also part of the cargo. The English response was one of nationalistic fervor and defiance. Queen Elizabeth's speech to her troops at Tilbury became legendary. The weather that battered the Armada was dubbed the Protestant wind. It was seen by the English as a sign of divine intervention. For the Spanish survivors, the Irish coast was a hostile territory. Many who made it to shore were killed or captured. Local folklore in Ireland is rich with tales of the dark strangers who came from the sea. Some stories tell of Spanish soldiers integrating into local communities. This adds a human element to the grand historical narrative. The search for wrecks is not just about gold, but also about these human stories. Finding a personal item, like a ring or a letter, can be more valuable than gold. The conditions of the North Atlantic make preservation of wrecks difficult. Cold water can help preserve organic materials, but storms can tear wrecks apart. Many wrecks may be buried under meters of sand, hidden forever. This uncertainty is what keeps the treasure hunt alive. The Armada's treasure is a perfect blend of history, myth, and the thrill of the unknown. Represents the ultimate prize for any treasure hunter. The financial records of the Spanish Empire are vast and complex. A definitive accounting of the Armada's cargo may never be possible. This ambiguity allows the legend to thrive. The story has inspired countless novels, films, and documentaries. It taps into a universal fascination with sunken treasure. The names of the ships themselves are evocative. La Rata, Encoronada, San Marcos, San Juan de Sicilia. Each name represents a potential, undiscovered time capsule. Technology of the 16th century was pushed to its limits by this endeavor. The casting of the bronze cannons was a major industrial effort. Many of these cannons, recovered from the sea, are works of art. They bear the crests of kings and founders, a testament to their origin. The human cost of the Armada's failure is often overshadowed by the treasure legend. Over 15,000 men perished due to combat, storms, and starvation. Their stories are the real, undeniable tragedy of the Armada. The myth of the treasure provides a stark contrast to this grim reality. It offers a narrative of adventure rather than one of suffering. Ultimately, the lost treasure of the Spanish Armada is a story about belief. Belief in national destiny, belief in divine will, and belief in the possibility of finding a fortune. As long as the ocean keeps its secrets, this belief will endure.